There you go. I've been living in Long Island now, but I'm from Brooklyn. Wow, we're real glad to have PG County out here in the house, and obviously Mr. Thomas Berry being our host for the day. And you guys got a chance to hear from Mr. Art Lee, and hopefully you guys are starting to, let this stuff sink in. It's starting to make sense. If you're taking notes of good things, because obviously, like I said, the thing is to put it in ink, so you want to make sure you have your notes. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about our recipe. Our 6-step recipe is really the reason why the MAD team went from 20 people October 2nd, 2006 to over 20,000 people in 31 countries. Wow. All right, this is documented. It's been done. This team right here, the MAD team, is the fastest growing team to hit the top of this company's compensation plan in the company's history. All right. Factual. All right. I mean, you contact the company. Who's the fastest growing, person to hit the Triple Diamond Black Pearl? It'd be the MAD team. Art Lee, Valencia Palmfield. I mean, you call up the company, talk to anybody in the company, mention those names, they know who you're talking about. So understand this, that this recipe is proven. It works. Same way if you have a recipe to make, apple pie, and you know how to make apple pie, and you follow the steps, follow the recipe. If you follow the steps and you do exactly what's on the box, you will get that apple pie. Well, if you follow this recipe from soup to nuts, from start to finish, and you don't deviate, you will get the same results. Does that make sense? All right, so we're going to talk. The recipes can be duplicated over and over again. Because here's one thing I can tell you, that if you do something, that's all well and good. But when you can teach thousands of people to do the exact same thing, and they follow that exact same script, that exact same recipe, and they get the same level of results, then that's a beautiful thing. And that's what we want to share with you guys, how you can do that. The recipe, the Triple Diamond Black Pearl. This is how they went from 0 to Triple Diamond Black Pearl in 10.5 months. First and foremost, step one, they got started. They got started. They started in the business. They signed an application. A lot of people come to presentations like you heard this morning, and when they come out, they say, well, you know what? I'm going to get started. I'm going to get started. And you ask them when. I don't know. That's not an answer. Let me ask you a crazy question. If anybody rents for a living, or has a house, or not rent for a living, but if you rent or if you have a house, every month there's a bill associated with that. Either you pay rent or you pay a mortgage. Now, if the guy comes to you for the mortgage payment or for your rent payment, and you tell them, when they say, well, where's my payment? You say, well, I don't know. What do you think is going to be the logical next question they're going to ask? When you moving out. When you moving out, she's there. But when you going to have it? So here's the thing. You can hear this presentation over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. But until you get started, you're not going to be part of the success. You're not going to have what we have. Get started. Let me ask you a question. How many people in the room today got started? And if you did, if you could stand up and be recognized. All of you that got started today. This conversation is obviously geared towards those of you that got started today. Now, if you get started within the last 30 days, by show of hands, let's let those individuals stand up. This is for you, those that got started today, within the last 30 days. We especially want you to take notice of this. But you know what? If you've been in the business for 6 months, a year, 5 years, you need to always go back to this recipe. This recipe, you should know it like the back of your hand. Number one, you get started and you stay qualified to get paid. Does everybody understand that there's a qualification that you have to have on a monthly basis in order to get your check? All right, I think Mr. Berry talked about it. He said 120. And that 120, where can that 120 come from? Yourself, right? It can come right in your household. You have to do 120 in volume points. All of the products that are out there have a point value associated with it. You want to do at least 120 a month in order to stay qualified. You get your IPC number. So those of you that got started today, you got a number, 7-digit number. That is your IPC number. You want to keep that in the back. You want to know that, again, almost like your Social Security number. Because Because every time you sign somebody up, every time you get a customer, you need to know that. You want to stay on Case Auto Ship. Again, that qualification, that $120 per month, you have to stay on it. It's not something where I get on it this month, I get off it next month. I get back on it this month, get off it next month. If you treated your job with that same kind of back and forth, how long do you think you'd have that job? Yeah. Same with your business. Going off and on auto ship is not going to help you to be successful in this operation. I don't know, this is a new word now, so I'm going to try my best to say it. Noni eyes. Noni eyes. Because if I say it too fast, it may sound like something else. Noni eyes. Your home and use a variety of our products. So many people get started with the fit product, or they start with the bioactive beverage. Whatever it is that you start with, that doesn't mean that that's the only product that we have. Like you heard, we have over 100+ products that you can utilize, from soap, lotion, shower gels, body wash, things of that nature. So you want to have those things around your home. It does two things. Number one, you experience the products. Number two, when people come to your home, they're going to ask. They'll know what business you're in, right? You can't say that you know, I'm in the business of selling BMWs, but the only car that you ever drive is a Buick. Or a Ford. Even a Mercedes, right? I mean, I'm in the business of selling BMWs, but I drive a Mercedes. You know, I'm not true to my brand. So your brand is Noni. And you want to stay true to that brand. You want to stay true, let me step it up and not to the bioactive brand. Because there will be changes by April of 2012, so let me keep it that clear. So you want to stay true to the bioactive brand. But all of those products that you see out there, you want to make sure you keep them in your home. Step 2 in our recipe is create now a business story and a product story. Business story. What could a business story be? Well, I got started in the business. You know, within my first 12 days, I hit the jade position in the company. Within 2.5 months, I hit the pearl position. And by the time I was in the business, 10.5 months, I was a diamond pearl elite. That's a business story. Happens to be my business story. But that's a business story which you tell individuals. But what is your business story? You know, what could you tell an individual your first 30 days was like? You know, I always think about my sponsor. You know, when my sponsor, Mrs. Pomfield and Mr. Lee, got started in the business, in 15 minutes they were jaded. 15 minutes? They went from 0 to jade in 15 minutes. They just invited a whole lot of people out to hear their first presentation. You're going to hear about some of the other steps, and when you start hearing about doing a tea party and having a presentation where you invite people to your home, you're going to hear talking about, you know, inviting anywhere from 50 people to your home. They invited more than 50 people. They invited so many people to their first presentation that in 15 minutes they hit the jade position. You know obviously what happened in 30 days, right? You know, I think in that time period, they knocked out the pearl position, and so on and so forth. But you want to create a business story, and you want to create a product story. Again, we talked about Noniizing your home. You want to create a product story. Start using the product yourself. How many people in the room have a product story? A story that the product, look at the hands go up. Would somebody like to share their product story? Yes. Okay, right here. You can absolutely, I want you to stand up. I want you to stand up and turn around, let them all see. Let them all see.
I'm excited to hear about Mrs. Hood. For my product story, I worked with her, so she introduced me from Noni to it. I'm a cancer survivor, so it's that I've taken over the years is, you know, not to be discreet, but it constipated me. And by me taking this within a month, my system runs regularly, and I mean, I got so much energy, and right now I'm on for 2 medications, so.
All right.
I love that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. And what's your name?
Octavia.
Octavia. Thank you, Octavia. Appreciate that. This is PG County Day, so I'm going to pick another PG County person. You right there, sister.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to go way back. I'm just going to go just this morning, my experience. I came up here and my head was just, you know, beating like this, and I realized my pressure was up, and I just drank some of the bioactive beverages, and now it's gone. And so that's my quick
Today.
To this morning, yes.
I love it.
All right.
And then the product story. Now we're talking about the bioactive beverage, but we have 100 different products, so other product stories. I want to hear your story because you just signed up 30 days ago.
Yes, my name is Rohan. I'm from New York City. I'm a young individual that is motivated by this product. I've been taking I only got started probably about 2 or 3 weeks now. I've been taking the extra, and I used to have hematuria. I don't know if anyone knows what that is. It's blood in the urine. And I used to see blood in my urine every morning. Been drinking the product extra and the original mix with the fit. That's what I like, fit, you know, getting strong. But
He lost all that weight in 3 weeks.
no, but honestly, I don't see any more blood in my urine. It's like, it's amazing. This product is just...
Appreciate that. Love that soup. Somebody else like to share? Miss John? And who in the front of the room with the clicker?
Goodness, okay. Seriously. When they came out, I was really excited because I really wanted to do something with my health, do something with my body. And the bottom line is I tried a few different things, but I was able to, I saw a good way to go, because we know it's not about how much you weigh, it's about your body composition. But it has changed my body composition in that I've lost 30 pounds of fat.
All right. Good.
I was also on 2 high blood pressure medicines, and I use bioactive beverage, and I
Hello.
take none. Thank you.
I know that's a fact.
Well, stand up, tell them who you are, what your story is.
I'm Deirdre Avery, and hi. I'm Deirdre Avery, and actually I backed into the business by just using the product. I couldn't stand tasting it. And my cousin came over and she gave me the product, and I said, okay, I'll drink the grape. So I drank the grape. And I went to the doctor a couple of months later, and they were like, you know what, we can take you off for 2 of your blood pressure medicines. Wow. So I was like, okay, cool. So I still wasn't convinced, because I didn't know it was the grape that was doing anything for me. And so then the fit came out, and I was introduced, and I took it. After a year and a half of being at a plateau, I decided, well, actually 6 days, I lost 7 pounds. And I was lost 25 pounds. Everybody started looking at me in 3 weeks, saying, what are you doing? So I called my cousin, what should I do? I'm in the business.